Hello, Lexi students. This is the Semester 2 study guide review over unit polynomial functions. So in this unit, we focused on solving polynomials with a higher degree, and we also divided them, factored them, and used the rational zero theorem. We also graphed them and also wrote equations. So first questions that they give us are factoring and solving. So ultimately, remember this one, if I look at this problem, I do notice that, get black, there we go. I do want to look first for a GCF. Well, they definitely all have a 4x, right? So we're going to factor out a 4x. It looks like I'm left with 6x squared minus 7x plus 2 is equal to 0. Now I got to factor this trinomial using my guess and check. So I got, a 3x and a 2x can make 6x squared. And then I can go a 2 and a 1 to get multiplied to give me a positive 2. Negative 6. That's 8. That won't get me the negative 7 that we were looking for. Maybe we need to try something else in the in front. Let's try do that one. Maybe we try a 2 here and a 3 there. So 2x times 2 is 4x. 3x, well, that'll give me my 7x, but I need a negative. So let's make these both negative there. That will factor. So now what I got to do is set each of those equal to 0. So I got 4x equals 0. 2x minus 1 equals 0. 3x minus 2 equals 0. So I know one answer, x is 0. If I solve this, I will get x equals 1/2. And I also get 2/3 for another answer. So those are my 3 answers for this particular problem. Let's try this one. So x to the 4th minus 5x squared plus 4. It is a trinomial, so immediately I know I can factor this using some guess and check. Well, two things, x squared and x squared will make an x to the 4th, right? I need to make a 4. So that would probably be a 2 and a 2. But I know I need to make a 5, so probably a 4 and a 1, right? And then I need to make a negative 5, so that would be a both negative there. Oh, but wait, x squared minus 4, that breaks down, right? So this is x plus 2, x minus 2. So is this one, x plus 1, x minus 1, because those are the difference of perfect squares. Now I can solve. So I got x equals negative 2, 2, negative 1, and 1 for all of my answers there. Okay, now they're asking me to divide them all. So let's do some division here. This one I can synthetically divide. So remember, you're going to put this, you're going to solve what you're dividing by equal to 0, and I get negative 1. So I know negative 1 is going to be sitting outside here. And then I got a 2, a 5, a negative 7, and a negative 6, because start with the highest power and just work our way down. So we drop the first guy, then we multiply. 2 times negative 1, that's negative 2. This will be 3, negative 3, negative 10, 10, 4. Now, I have to translate this into a new polynomial. So that means I got 2x squared, because remember, you divide it by an x, so you get to drop a power, plus 3x minus 10 plus 4. Now, this 4 is a remainder, so I'm going to put that 4 over what I divided by, which in this case is an x plus 1. Now let's try dividing. Now notice this one, it's not x, just an x here. So I got a long divide, womp womp. So I got 3x plus 2 divided by 3x cubed minus 4x squared plus 5x minus 2. So something times 3x gives me 3x cubed. Well, that would be an x squared, right? So this is 3x cubed, because I'm going to multiply this x squared times the 3x. And then I'm going to multiply the x squared times the 2 as well. So that's going to be 2x squared. And then don't forget to change your signs. That's one thing students always forget, to change your signs. These guys cancel out. I get negative 6x squared. Drop my 5x down. Now I need to see something times 3x is negative 6x squared. That'd be a negative 2x, right? So this is negative 6x squared minus 4x. So now let's change our signs again. These guys cancel out. I'm left with 9x. Drop my negative 2 down. So something times 3x needs to give me 9x. 3, right? So this is 9x plus 6. Change my signs. I get negative 8 for my remainder. So my answer for this problem is x squared minus 2x plus 3 minus 8 over what I divided by, 3x plus 2. That one. So this one, next one here, determine all the real number solutions to the following polynomial, given 1, 0 as a hint. So remember, this one, I'm giving you a hint. So that means I can't just do factoring right away, because remember this, the fundamental theorem of algebra tells me that if there is a 3 here, that means I have to have 3 solutions. So they gave me 1, 6. So I'm going to set up my synthetic division here. 6, negative 37, 5, and 6. So I can drop the 6 down. 6 times 6 is 36. This is a negative 1, because I'm adding this. Negative 6, this is a negative 1, and a negative 6. Smiley face, because we're getting a 0 there. So now technically this is 6x squared minus x minus 1. And I want to solve this problem now. I think that's factorable. Well, 3x and a 2x will get me 6x squared. And then a positive 1 and a negative 1 will get me a negative 1. Let's multiply the outsides and the insides to get see if I get a negative 1. So negative 3x plus 2x, that's a negative 1, right? So my answers to this problem, I got negative 1/3, comes from this. I got 1/2, and then I also got, don't forget about Mr. 6, the guy that you got right away at the beginning. And the last question of the polynomials unit. So they're telling me to write the equation of a following polynomial that has a negative 3, a negative 1, a 2, a 5, and I need to contain this point. So remember, basically I'm going to rewrite it so that it kind of looks like a factored form. So I got y equals a, because we don't know our stretch amount. Now if x equals negative 3 is one of my solutions, I know that the factor that would have given me that would have been an x plus 3. And I got x plus 1 as well, x minus 2, and x minus 5 in there. Okay, now I gotta plug in my ordered pair, right? Because we need to solve for a. So I got negative 15 equals a. Ooh, plug a 0 in, that's gonna be a 3. Plug a 0, that's a 1, negative 2, and a negative 5. So on that side, negative 15a. Ooh, what is this? 10, 30. So I get a is negative 1/2. So my equation is y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3, x plus 1, x minus 2, and x minus 5. That's the end of the polynomials unit. If you go on to this playlist, you'll find that there is, for each other unit of this review study guide. But with this, that's the end of the video. See you later, Sabers.